Hey and welcome to the Daily Manchester United News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Fiorentina eye summer move for Manchester United fullback Brandon Williams. Fiorentina are keen on signing Manchester United fullback Brandon Williams this summer, report TuttoMercatoWeb. The Serie A club wants a new left back and are ready to recruit the services of the 22-year-old. Fiorentina want to sign Williams on an initial loan deal with an option to buy him for €5 million. The Englishman is out of contract next year, but Man United are expected to activate the option to extend his deal before sending him out on loan. Williams earns around €20,000 per week, and Fiorentina could be willing to cover his whole wages to boost their chances of landing him on loan. The Man United defender struggled with fitness issues during the first half of the season and has played just once this term. Williams came on for 4 minutes during the Carabao Cup game against Burnley in December. Red Devils manager Erik Ten Hag revealed towards the end of January that a temporary exit could be on the card for the fullback. Nothing materialized, but Williams is expected to leave the Old Trafford club this summer. Ten Hag is willing to let him leave, but whether another loan deal appeals to the club remains to be seen. The youngster spent 21-22 on loan with Norwich City, appearing in 26 Premier League games. Williams made 36 appearances across all competitions in his debut season for the Red Devils in 1920 season. The Man United Academy graduate has been unable to force his way back into the senior team, but another loan deal could bring the best out of him. Fiorentina want to take the pound on him and agreeing to buy him for €5 million after a loan makes sense. Former striker fearful Man United could give up on a struggling star. Jadon Sancho is on borrowed time at Manchester United. That is the view of former striker Dwight Yorke, who has been left puzzled by the winger's failure to live up to expectations since his £73 million move from Borussia Dortmund in 2021. Despite arriving in the Premier League tipped as one of the country's most impactful attackers, Sancho, 23, has struggled massively. Inconsistent performances and failure to cement a place on either the left or the right wing has left the 23-year-old playing nothing more than a bit part role. His run in the team has also not been helped by a number of factors, including Marcus Rashford's form, which has seen the England international score 29 goals this season, Antony's arrival from Ajax last summer, and Alejandro Garnacho's impressive breakthrough campaign. Consequently, once viewed as a future star, Sancho now finds his Old Trafford future uncertain. Although Erik Ten Hag is likely to stick with the former Dortmund winger for at least one more season, York has admitted that unless the young attacker can turn it around, he could find himself frozen out. He said, "Yes, it's one of a mystery, really. He had so much potential and hope for the likes of Manchester United, huge investment, really did an amazing job when he was at Dortmund. Somehow the transition from there to Manchester hasn't really worked out in the way that we all thought it might for him. Really struggled, whether it's from a mental point of view, which seems to be well documented. He hasn't really lived up to the price tag. So yeah, he is on borrowed time, I suppose, if you have to be fair in many respects. He hasn't really produced the goods that we expect him to." Manchester United manager must be allowed to make the final decision on Anthony Martial. Erik Ten Hag could be set for a summer head-to-head with the current owners of Manchester United over the future of Anthony Martial. There have been widespread reports that Ten Hag has run out of patience with the underachieving forward and wants to move him on at the end of the season. However, co-owner Joel Glazer is reportedly a big fan of the French forward and will refuse to sanction his exit from Old Trafford. Glazer has a previous form where Martial is concerned, having blocked Jose Mourinho's attempt to sell him to Barcelona when he was manager. Putting aside the fact that the Glazers should not still be owners this summer, Ten Hag cannot afford to lose this particular battle if they remain in situ. For starters, a man who knows the square root of zero about coaching a football team should have no say in United transfer business. On his day, Martial is a decent enough forward. He has netted 87 goals in 296 appearances for the club. Not bad, but not great. Injury issues have blighted his time with United, making him a risky proposition to keep around if they have genuine hopes of winning silverware. Ten Hag sees Martial playing as a center forward, a factor that makes it even more sensible to move him on this summer. The club desperately needs to sign an elite striker. However, you flower it up, that description does not appeal to Martial. If United acquire the right player during the upcoming transfer window, Martial would spend most of the next season on the bench, assuming he stays fit. He is unlikely to be happy with the scenario and would be much better served heading elsewhere. The calmer waters of League One are ideal, as former Arsenal striker Alexandre Lacazette has found this season. The top flight in France is the perfect place for strikers just short of elite quality to fill their boot. Marcus Rashford training boost for Manchester United ahead of Chelsea game. Manchester United have welcomed Marcus Rashford back to training ahead of this week's game against Chelsea. Marcus Rashford is back in training for Manchester United after missing Saturday's win over Bournemouth. Rashford has actually missed the last two matches for different reasons. He sustained an injury, which saw him absent for the win over Wolves at Old Trafford before returning to training last week. The England international then suffered a bout of illness, which caused him to miss the Bournemouth game. Manchester United have confirmed Marcus Rashford is back in first team training, with the forward pictured back at Carrington with his teammate. Rashford is Manchester United's top scorer for the season with 29 goals, and time is running out for him to reach the 30 mark. United hosted Chelsea on Thursday night at Old Trafford and then Fulham on Sunday to round off the Premier League season. The Red Devils required just 1 point from the remaining two matches to secure a Champions League place. Newcastle's draw with Leicester means two wins will see Manchester United clinch third place, a £2.2 million prize money difference over fourth. At a guess, we would expect Rashford to go straight back into United's starting lineup against Chelsea, considering he had only missed the last game through illness. Erik Ten Hag may play cautions though, with one eye on the FA final against Manchester City on June 3. BBC pundit admit he got it wrong over Manchester United star. Two Manchester United stars have been named in the BBC Team of the Week after the win over Bournemouth, and in doing so, pundit Garth Crooks has admitted he made a mistake over star man Casemiro. Casemiro struck the winner against Bournemouth, his fifth goal of the season for United. He was named by Gary Neville on Sky Sport as his signing of the season, and Crooks agrees. Casemiro was one of two players selected in the BBC Sport Team of the Week, with Victor Lindelof also chosen. Crooks admitted he was hasty to judge Casemiro when Manchester United signed him from Real Madrid last summer. He said, "The Brazil midfielder's presence in the team, not to mention his performances, have transformed Manchester United's season. I thought his arrival at Old Trafford was no more than a nice final to a magnificent career. That couldn't have been further from the truth. The player puts himself on the line for the team and is a leader. He might not be the player of the season, but for me he is without doubt the signing of the season." On the topic of Lindelof, who has been a regular selection for Crooks in recent weeks, he added, "His performances have been outstanding and he played a prominent part in helping Manchester United keep a clean sheet." Crooks' apology over Casemiro was not the only admission made by a pundit. Reflecting on the season, Sky Sport pundit Jamie Carragher made his long-awaited apology over Lisandro Martinez, who he had called too small to play in the Premier League. Carragher told Monday Night Football, "I'd like to apologize to Lisandro Martinez. He was my surprise of the season. He is a warrior, a leader, and him and Casemiro have made a huge difference. Manchester United loan season a mess, says his former international boss. Manchester United defender Erik Bailly is set to return to Old Trafford when his loan at Marseille ends this summer. The decision to extend Erik Bailly's contract at Manchester United in 2021 continues to look like an odd choice. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the manager in charge at the time, and he was subsequently reluctant to pick him. Ralf Rangnick and Erik ten Hag both also agreed that Bailly had no place in United first choice 11. Bailly hit out early in the season to say he was denied opportunities at United. Whatever the truth in that, he has failed to make the most of his loan move to Marseille. Erik Bailly will not be joining Marseille permanently. He has not played enough games to trigger their purchase option, and nor is there any appetite at the Ligue 1 club to bring him back. Bailly has not started a game for Marseille since February, and he has only 4 league starts all season for the club and 9 in all competitions. The first half of the season was predictably interrupted by injuries, then he had a suspension, and Marseille are simply now preferring their alternative options. Bailly's former Ivory Coast manager Patrick Baumel has told Africa Foot United he is disappointed with the way the defender's loan spell has gone. He said, "It's a mess. He remains and will remain one of the best defenders I have known. It's a shame because a 100% Bailly could have helped the team to grab points, to be second. He has not always been 100%. It's perhaps the fault of bad luck when he loved Olympique Marseille and would have appreciated being part of this project. Manchester United have no interest in keeping Erik Bailly on a permanent basis either, but he is under contract for another year. It remains to be seen what will happen with Erik Bailly this summer." Manchester United keeping tabs on Musa Diabi. Manchester United are keeping an eye on Musa Diabi, according to Sky Sports journalist Florian Plettenberg. Any potential move for Diabi, who is valued at between 70 and 80 million euros, will depend on the outcome of United's ownership saga. Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani and Sir Jim Ratcliffe are currently embroiled in a tussle to acquire the Red Devils. Having racked up an impressive 14 goals and 11 assists in 47 games, Diaby has started to add an end product to his game, which had largely been all bark and no bite before the 21-22 campaign. His heroics at the top end of the pitch have helped Bayer Leverkusen move up to sixth in the Bundesliga table, following a rough start to the season. Xabi Alonso's side were also recently knocked out of the Europa League semi-final by Roma. Despite having 2 years left on his current deal at Y Arena, Diaby has emerged as a transfer target for several elite clubs ahead of the upcoming transfer window. Newcastle United and Arsenal have been linked with a move for the Frenchman, while La Liga giants Real Madrid have also been credited with an interest. Capable of playing anywhere across the front line, Diaby would be an excellent addition to Man United front line, which has relied heavily on Marcus Rashford this term. Erik ten Hag's side have scored the lowest number of goals amongst the team in the Premier League top 6, while only Fulham have found the back of the net on fewer occasions in the entire top half. Consequently, attacking reinforcement are a must for United next summer, with Tottenham Hotspur's Harry Kane lined up as the prime target at centre forward, off the back of yet another campaign where he has struggled for both form and fitness. Anthony Martial is said to be shown the exit door by Ten Hag. Also, United co-owner Jugal Glazer has other ideas. Manchester United not pursuing a deal for Neymar under the Glazers. Manchester United are reportedly not pursuing a deal to sign Paris Saint-Germain forward Neymar this season. The Red Devils were strongly linked with the Brazilian, with French outlet L'Equipe inevitably leading the charge. However, their story was quickly debunked by ESPN's Mark Ogden, who claimed United were not trying to sign Neymar under their current owners. Sky Sports subsequently jumped on the bandwagon, claiming United have been approached by intermediaries about a possible move. Neymar faces an uncertain future at PSG, with the club eager to move on from an era that has failed to deliver success in the Champions League. However, that same reason is precisely why United must resist the temptation to sign him, regardless of which owners are in charge of the club, much like Cristiano Ronaldo, Paul Pogba, and others. Neymar comes with plenty of baggage attached. United do not need it. Even if United end up with a new Qatari owners, adding Neymar's hopping salary to the wage bill makes no sense if they want to retain a harmonious dressing room. There is also the question of where the Brazilian would fit into the team, with United well stocked for players on the left flank. Signing Neymar would create an unwelcome headache for Erik ten Hag, and the club should steer clear of a player who has consistently failed to deliver in European competitions. I will be uploading daily Manchester United news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.